abundance in today's Pac-10 Conference matchup. We're at Autzen Stadium, where Stanford takes on the 20th ranked team in the nation. It's the 1-2 Stanford Cardinals and the 3-0 Oregon Ducks. Hi, everybody. With Stanford's all-time leading rusher, Darren Nelson, I'm Brian Weber. It's great to have you with us. Last year, Stanford and Oregon combined for a Cardinal record, 107 points, and we expect plenty of offense today as well. But Stanford enters this potential shootout without its top gun. Troy Walters out for the second week in a row with injury.
Troy Walters is at home getting a hot tub right now. He will not make this game. Hopefully he'll play next week.
Even without Walters, the Stanford passing offense has been sharp. Starting quarterback Todd Husak is a steady performer. Last week against North Carolina, he threw for better than 300 yards and a touchdown to Jeff Allen, but there are two other quarterbacks in the mix for the Cardinal.
That's right. The Cardinal have Joe Borcher, who's 6'4", 195 pounds. He's the athlete. He's going to come in in two-minute situations. Then you have Randy Fasani, 235 pounds, goal line, short yardage.
Last year, Oregon rotated two QBs. This year, Akili Smith has emerged as the offensive leader. The Ducks are averaging 46 points a game, and Smith is showing pro potential.
Anytime you're 6'3", 220 pounds, you can either sit back in the pocket or run and make people miss. And the pros are definitely going to look at you, Brian.
And the Ducks could be even more explosive this afternoon. Tailback Ruben Drones is back from injury. Week 1 against Michigan State, he rushed for more than 200 yards. We're coming back with the opening kick in just 1 moment. We are live at Autzen Stadium in Eugene, a capacity crowd of 41,000 on hand. It will get extremely loud this afternoon. A damp day in the northwest, overcast skies, and typical fall weather. Stanford has dominated the series, winning 42 of 63 since 1900. The Cardinal has taken 6 of the last 7 meetings and 3 straight here in Eugene. And you see the combined tally. The last 5 meetings have been wild. Tyrone Willingham in his 4th year on the Cardinals sidelines. Stanford has lost 7 of its last 9 games dating back to last year. Tyrone trying to shape a young team. Mike Bellotti signed a contract extension in August, 4-year deal, rewarding his 25-13 mark, but he's 0-3 against Stanford. And Darren, as we discussed a second ago, both offenses are in gear. The question is, which defense can step up?
Well, right now, Oregon's defense has been playing very well. They almost shut out a very good offensive San Jose State team last week and played very well in the 2 previous games, especially against Michigan State.
Just 51 degrees. It rained here last night. A moist, damp afternoon in Eugene. Cardinal won the toss. They defer. The Ducks get the ball to start the game. Bobby Nero and Jason Cooper set to receive for the Cardinal. Mike Baselli, redshirt freshman from Sparks, Nevada, handles the kickoff. And we're set to go. Short kick taken by Cooper at the 4. Has a seam across the 30 to the 34-yard line. 30 yards on the return. Akili Smith guides the Oregon offense, 6'3" senior from San Diego, ranking 2nd in the nation in passing efficiency. He's thrown 8 touchdowns, just 1 interception. Big, mobile, and has a strong arm.
Yeah, he does have a real strong arm. And not only that, he can run around very well too, Brian, and that's going to cause some trouble for this Cardinal defense.
As per normal, Ducks call their first play along the line of scrimmage. Latimer, the sole setback for 1st and 10. And a quick swing pass out into the flat, but it's dropped by Damon Griffin. The Ducks lead the Pac-10 in total offense, averaging over 500 yards a game. Senior tackle Marco Aguirre anchors the line. The Ducks have allowed 5 sacks this year. Darian Latimer had 70 yards last week against San Jose State. He gets the start. Griffin just dropped that pass. He, along with Tony Hartley, are speedy wideouts.
Lineup momentarily. 2nd and 10. Fake the draw. Smith rolls. He has his tight end, his fullback, Greg Payne, bumbling forward over the 50 to the 47-yard line. You know, this is one thing that Jeff Tedford likes to do, is get the ball to his fullbacks out of the backfield.
Stanford defense dead last in the conference in total D, a base 4-3. Real Johnson is tied for the Pac-10 sack lead with 3 sacks this year. Outside linebacker Donnie Spragan is the only senior defensive starter. He had an INT last week. In the secondary, quarterback Brian Taylor today becomes the first true freshman to start in Tyrone Willingham's tenure at Stanford. 16 yards on the pickup to the fullback Payne. First and 10 from the 48. Latimer along the sideline, knocked out of bounds at the 40. Chris Johnson in on the stop. Latimer, the junior from Colorado, put up huge numbers his senior year in high school. 3,000 yards, 38 touchdowns. His 3,000 yards, the 10th best total all time in prep football history.
And he's probably running just a tad bit lighter, Brian, because he's had the flu all week.
And a lot of pressure on that young man, Darren.
Exactly.
2nd and 2. Latimer right up the middle. Gets the first down yardage. So move the sticks for the Ducks. Willie Howard leading the charge defensively for the Cardinal. Interchangeable parts for Oregon in the backfield. Jason Cooper, Kevin Parker, Darian Latimer, all effective. Factor in Ruben Drones, and you have the makings of a very talented backfield. Plus, true freshman Herman Ho Ching is out with a knee injury, but he was very good earlier this year. 1st and 10 from the 37.
290 pounds, but this guy can run. 4-man front for Stanford. They play a 4-3. Play action pass. Smith looking deep. He's got Griffin down at the 5. Touchdown! Damon Griffin, and he beat the true freshman Brian Taylor. Taylor didn't know whether to cry or wind his watch.
It's not a fair matchup. The top big play receiver in the Pac-10, Damon Griffin, against a true freshman. I don't know if Taylor, number 37, expected help from his safety on the inside, but you can see him is out of the play. Great throw right on the money. I'll tell you what, we said this before, if the offensive line can give Akili Smith that kind of time, he'll shred anybody.
Nathan Villegas is now 26 of 26 in kicks this year. That was a nice pattern run by Damon Griffin, and of course Tony Hartley ran the safety off, so that left the true freshman Taylor one-on-one with Griff. No contest. So the Ducks have now gotten on the board quickly again. It's been their modus operandi this year. They lead 7-0.
Ducks 1 minute and 20 seconds to reach the end zone. Akili Smith to Damon Griffin, and it's 7-0 Oregon. Dan Katz will kick it away. And for the Cardinal, Corey Wire and Brian Allen set to return. And you hear the crowd roaring, making its presence felt early on.
Katz to boot it away for Oregon. Corey Wire and Brian Allen. Back deep, this will be Allen, and he bobbles the football, and it's loose. Oregon's got the football at the Stanford 13-yard line. Dietrich Moore came away with the football. This is Corey Wire, actually, the tailback that dropped it.
And as you can see, his mistake was not securing the football. He was trying to do it as he was running. And the Cardinals lucky the Ducks didn't pick it in and run it in.
What a hit by Michael Fletcher to destroy Wire.
Mr. Excitement in the kicking game. Michael Fletcher, you've seen it do him as a punt returner. What a great hit.
Wire trying to field the kick. Actually, it looks like he has it early, and then he just doesn't concentrate and drops the ball again. Then he gets hit very hard right there, and Oregon falls on it. Corey Wire's going to run up and get the ball. He takes his eye off the ball just as he's about to catch it, and then he gets rocked by number 1, Michael Fletcher. Oregon ball.
Fletcher laid him out, and then Dietrich Moore fell on the football. They're looking sharp here to start against the Cardinal. We have a momentary delay. This play does not come off from the line of scrimmage. Bill Richardson our Pac-10 referee. And a timeout on the field. We'll step aside. Ducks looking to add to their quick 7-0 their initial series. On the subsequent kick, Coy Wire was nailed. Oregon has it inside the 15. Latimer, the deep man in the I formation. He'll get the carry, bouncing outside, cuts back up the middle, and makes something happen, rolling to the 12.
You know, Brian, this is the last thing Stanford wanted to happen. The first thing he wanted to do was come in here, hopefully score first, and get this crowd out of the ball game. But now, Oregon has scored on a long touchdown pass. They just got the turnover, exactly what the Cardinals did not need.
Well, this fits the profile for the Ducks. As we talked about last week, they jumped out 21-0 on San Jose State. They've been perfect this year inside the 20 with 8 touchdowns and 14 trips. 2nd and 8. 3 wideouts. Smith right across the middle to his tight end Weaver. Flag is down. Weaver down at the 2. Aaron Fought making the tackle. Let's pick up the flag. Early signal. It is against the Cardinal.
It's going to be holding.
Nothing going well for the Cardinal to start this game.
First of all, Oregon's going to spread Stanford out, and then the tight end is going to be wide open. But he was held on that play prior to coming out and releasing and getting into that video.
Defensive holding occurred against
Oregon,
the receiver.
The most potent offense in the Pac-10.
Result of the play results in more yards down.
Ducks are averaging better than 500 yards a game, 225 on the ground, and Tyrone Willingham obviously concerned. So after the penalty, 1st and goal inside the 2. Power look for the Ducks.
1st and goal for Oregon inside the 2. Latimer on the toss. A lot of white shirts out there, and Latimer squeezes into the corner for the score. Darian Latimer giving Oregon 2 quick touchdowns. Latimer with a touchdown last week against San Jose State. And another one in the first quarter this week.
You see a pretty good block by Greg Payne, number 43. He's watching to see what the tight end Weaver does with his guy. Then he comes on and gets just enough of the linebacker to solidify the corner for Latimer. That's an excellent job between the tight end and fullback of securing those blocks. Todd, you know, they never really had him hooked, but they got just enough of them to get him in the end zone.
Villegas tacks on the extra point.
And with 12:25 remaining in the opening quarter, it is 14-0 Ducks. The Ducks' first drive was 5 plays. Their second, merely 3. It's 14-0 Oregon. This one rolls out of the end zone, or out of the sideline rather, will come out to the 35-yard line. So now the Stanford offense will look to regroup in the early 14-0 hole.
Stanford's down 14-0, and their offense hasn't even run a play yet, Brian.
Todd Usack making his 4th career start today, the 6'3 junior from Long Beach, completing 53% of his passes, 6 TDs, 3 INTs. He's been solid thus far, but he's got to fight the crowd here. Wire gets the carry, picking his way up the middle to the 39-yard line. Stanford offense, number 2 in the Pac-10 in passing yards. The interior 5 are experienced. 5th-year senior Jeff Wilson joined by 3 juniors and another senior, and Stanford outweighs the defensive front of Oregon, so the Cardinal could control the line of scrimmage. With Walters out, Durrani Pitts has become the primary target with 19 catches. 5 yards for Wire on first down, setting up the 2nd and 5. He's behind Stevenson here. Play fake. Husak set the throw. Caught by Pitts. He scoots out of bounds at the 49-yard line. Good for the first down. Edwards chased him out.
And this is exactly what Stanford needs right now, Brian. They need to establish a drive and try and get this crowd out of the game.
Saul Patu, the rush end for Oregon, had 3 sacks in 97. He's been slowed by a thigh injury. Chevron, the leading tackler And Michael Fletcher, extremely quick in the talented secondary. 1st and 10 from the 49. Wire gets the carry and falls forward to the 44. When we talked with Stanford offensive coordinator Bill Dietrich, he said the Cardinals would make a concerted effort to run the ball more in this game.
Yeah, Brian, that's something they have to do, because if they want to get this crowd out of the game, if they want to keep Oregon's offense, which is averaging 46 points a game off the field, they are going to have to establish a run.
As we alluded to, Stanford very heavy up front. They outweigh the defensive front of Oregon, so Stanford looking to pound the football this afternoon. Here on 2nd and 8, 3 wideouts. Husak lets it go behind his intended receiver, Jeff Allen, who had the big game a week ago. Todd Husak was floored at the tail end of the North Carolina game, had to leave, and then Joe Borchard came in for that miraculous 41-yard run. But Todd is healthy today. Not feeling good, though, as Oregon has grabbed the quick 14-0 lead. A 3rd and 8. Stanford, 37% this year on 3rd down conversions. 4 wideouts as Wire is in the pattern. Middle screen, Pitts shakes a man and rolls it ahead to the 36. Good for the 1st down. Justin Wilcox, the backup safety, knocked him down.
Well, that's one of Stanford's staple plays, that middle screen. Normally Troy Walters runs that play, but as we all know, Troy's at home right now. Durrani Pitts does a real good job. You see the offensive line and letting those guys from Oregon go through and then coming downfield. They almost could have got a little bit more out of this.
Got 11 yards to the 36. Allen, the slot man, inside of Durrani Pitts. Now Allen in motion. Handoff, Wire, off tackle, moving it inside for Little. Maybe 2, running right into the teeth of that Oregon defense. Aaron Chevron leading the way, and Chevron will have to be a pivotal performer because Peter Sermon out with a pectoral injury at linebacker for the Ducks. Coy Wire, this redshirt freshman from Pennsylvania, was a high school wrestler, and he likes working things on the interior, knocking guys down.
Yeah, he does like to run over guys, but every once in a while you got to make somebody miss. That's one of the things that he needs to work on in this game.
4 wideouts set again for the Cardinal. Husak over the middle. Allen can't hang on. Brandon McLemore had the coverage, but Allen should have hung on to that ball.
Yeah, Jeff Allen should have had that ball. He had some running room after the catch, too. You know, he's one of the faster wide receivers that Stanford has. He runs the 4x400 in the relay team. Very fast guy. Nice and tall target, too, Bryant.
Tyrone Willingham, always stoic, never shows the emotion, but you know he's churning on the inside. And his team faces the 3rd and 9 from the 35. Crowd raising its intensity. Husak lets it go. Allen can't hang on. Rashad Bowman had the coverage, and it was pretty good.
Coleman does a good job of coverage, but everybody on the Stanford offense does their job on that play. The offensive line gives him plenty of time to throw the football. He's got plenty of time. It was a nice release. Allen's got to come up with this football. He's got to force his way back and come up with that football.
It is 4th and 9 from the 35. It would be a 52-yard field goal attempt. That's too far for Kevin Miller, so Stanford lines up to go for it. 1 of 6 this year on 4th down conversions. Double slot, 4 wide receivers for the Cardinal. Middle screen again. Davis gets nothing. And the Ducks take over on downs. Chris Vanderveer leading the charge defensively.
Stanford just ran the very same play that they ran to Ronnie Pitts earlier. Dave Davis is going to come in and try to run that little screen over the middle, but you see Oregon's not fooled this time. You have to question as to whether they should have ran that play twice in one drive.
That play dates back to when Dana Bible was Stanford's offensive coordinator. They've had success with it over the years, and this year to Troy Walters, but you got to believe defenses have scouted it because it's been around for so long. Smith, efficient early on, play fake, wants to throw. Down the middle. Griffin makes the catch and staggers forward to the 27-yard line. Smith and Taylor finally corralled him. 35 yards.
But right now, Brian Taylor is in some really difficult territory right now because he's out because he realizes that Damon Griffin is already a little faster than him, so he's playing off of him, but he's getting him a little too much cushion that time.
Taylor's in there because Stanford has no depth in the secondary, and defensive coordinator Billy Harris said that Taylor was the best they had. Reuben Drones has checked into the game.
Freshman to start for Tyrone Willingham, and maybe the last. Here comes the draw play to Latimer. Oh no, Reuben Drones has it. 20, 15, 14-yard line for Reuben Drones. Gain of 14 yards.
Todd, I was watching Griffin that play, and here's the young freshman. Taylor's at him, and this time Griffin blocked him and kept him out of the play. He's having a hard day so far. Reuben Drones just kind of snuck into the game. You see him. Nice job of going to open area. That's a hole you could run through, Todd.
What a block by Chad Chance, the fullback, number 31. He just blew the linebacker out of there. Reuben Drones had quite a debut. In fact,
Reuben Drones is the junior college transfer. First run is kind of like a little lead draw. Left side of his offensive line does a good job. Brian, you could have ran through that hole.
He has mixed roots. He's from Anaheim, California, but went to college at Merced College. Missed the San Jose State game last week with a combination of a shin and ankle injury that he suffered against UTEP, but went for 202 yards in the season-opening win over Michigan State. On the draw keeper, Smith runs it out of bounds, chased out by Aaron Fott, the Cardinal safety. Darren, when you look at this Oregon offense, they're so diversified, have so many weapons, they can beat you in the air, on the ground, and maybe they'll show you option two.
You know what, most people think that Oregon's offense, what they try to do is pound the ball at you first and then throw. What they try to do is open up the field by going deep first, which they did to Damon Griffin earlier, and then they'll start running the ball with Drones later.
And Akili Smith, who split time last year with Jason Moss, showing so much more confidence this season. On 2nd and 10, Drones is the sole setback. Hartley, the man in motion, reverses his field. Smith has plenty of time. Over the middle, it's a touchdown. Tony Hartley for the Ducks. "14-yard touchdown."
And Brian, right now, Oregon running on all cylinders. Tony Hartley with a quick slant route is going to beat Aaron Fott for the touchdown. You see there, Akili Smith having all the time in the world. Another touchdown for Oregon.
Hartley's third receiving touchdown this year.
You see the slant pattern. You see Akili Smith with time to reload twice and then finally get the ball out to Tony Hartley.
Villegas makes it 21-0 Ducks, and we have 8:28 remaining in the opening quarter in Eugene.
Gets on top, 21-0. Stanford is basically a running football team, even though the first 2 or 3 games they have thrown a lot, but they're primarily a running football team.
The Ducks grabbed a 21-0 lead a week ago against San Jose State. The final tally in that game, 58-3. Meaning it could get even uglier. Dan Katz has been busy so far. This one right down the middle. Wire from the 10. Into the wedge. Rumbles out to the 35-yard line. And Darren, even though we talked about Stanford wanting to run, facing a 21-point deficit, the school of thought says they're probably going to have to pass to get back in a hurry.
Oh, well, there's no doubt about it. Dave Davis, Durrani Pitts, those guys are definitely going to have to step it up now because their main weapon, Troy Walters, is back at home nursing an ankle. Stanford's definitely going to have to start throwing the ball. However, Brian, it's still early. It's still the first quarter.
Juan Carlos Lacey checks in at tailback. The sophomore from Union City, Georgia. And he'll get the ball and get nothing. Stacked up right at the line of scrimmage. Chevron led the way, and he had lots of help.
Le'i Sawalua was there on the play, looked like that time making the tackle, although there were a lot of people there right in the middle of the field to stop Juan Carlos Lacey before he even got started.
This is an improved Ducks defense When we spoke with defensive coordinator Bob Foster, he said he wanted to simplify things, and this is first year, and the results have been shown. No gain on 1st and 10. And a fake end around. Husak still has the football, has loads of time, airs it out. Wanted Pitts, he was tripped up. Edwards brought him down, no flag on the play. We expected Stanford to show more misdirection in this game because they thought that the Ducks over-pursued defensively.
But you can watch them down there. You can see now the reason there's no pass interference on this play is because the Oregon defender trips. And if you trip and then a receiver trips over you, normally that's not called pass interference.
3rd and 10 for the Cardinal. Husak, mixed bag so far. Stevenson and wire the backs. Husak set to throw. Out to wire. Shakes a man. But comes nowhere near the first down yardage. Stanford will have to punt it away. Anthony Martin, the senior from San Jose's Oak Grove High School, in on the stop.
That brings in Kevin Miller, the hero last week when he booted a field goal as time ran out to beat North Carolina. Fletcher back at the 5. He has Reese. He's still on his feet. Cuts to the outside, holds onto the ball, and gives Oregon good field position at the 38. This guy is fearless.
Well, I'd call him Mr. Excitement. He has single-handedly brought excitement back to the punt return, and it's carrying over to the defense. You watch this. Now, normally you'd like to let that ball go in the end zone, but not with Michael Fletcher. He catches it deep inside the 10, and look at him. If he doesn't stumble here, he'd probably have a full head of steam and maybe gone the distance. And I'll tell you, the guy who was upset is the punter. I mean, he really boomed one, and they get it all the way back out to the 40.
And Brian, right now, Stanford's got to deal with a very fired-up Oregon football team. The crowd's behind them. You know, it's not raining out here. They've stopped Stanford on 2 or 3 occasions, stopped them on 4th down. Fletcher backing up, catching the ball inside the 10. So he has to get it out at least to the 20 so he doesn't get fussed at by the coaches. Manages to do that, and then he's finally brought down.
Did that and more. 1st and 10 from the 39. Drones off tackle, and not much there. Stockbauer leading the way for Stanford defensively, and he's a bit banged up. In fact, the whole Cardinal linebacking core has been hobbled by Inchko with 4 wide receivers. Bobby Nero and Donald Haynes check into the game. And a flag down, and Damon Griffin is hot. He's barking at one of his teammates.
Oregon faced with a 3rd and 15. Early moments, 2nd quarter. 2 wideouts. Akili Smith on a roll. Looking backside, has a man. Donald Haynes all the way to the 35. It's a foot race. In pursuit is the safety, Aaron Folk, and he knocks him out of bounds at the Stanford 40-yard line. Wow, Ken. Everything the Ducks seem to roll comes up great.
Well, again, this is all happening because of the offensive line. They're giving Akili Smith all the time in the world. Look how long these receivers have to run their routes.
Great crossing route there. Haynes, the slot man, and the safety bit on the other man.
Yeah, you know, nobody's going to be, the Oakland Raiders couldn't be covering these guys with this amount of time.
So the holding call pushes him back 10, 2nd down and 20, or 1st and 20. Smith, what a great job of looking off the defense to Jed Weaver. Weaver has 18 yards. What a wonderful job by Akili Smith.
And no one has laid a hand on Akili yet. You know, Jed Weaver was covered initially. Watch Akili. He's going to look to his right. Now he's coming back to the tight end. He did a nice job of looking off to the right to allow Weaver to get in behind that guy and get open. Wow.
Akili having a great day, and Weaver, remember, Big Jed had 3 receptions last week, including a Johnson and 2 good outside guys for Stanford at the linebacker position. You see the Ducks controlling play early. Akili looking backside, and it's caught by Weaver on a diving reception at the 2. Well, he matches his total of a week ago.
Right now, the Stanford defense is just helpless. Akili gets a lot of room, a lot of time for Weaver to get clear. What a great athletic catch. It just goes to show you, Weaver until last week had really not made much of a splash as a receiver. Now he looks at the sideline, keep him out of the end zone.
Back to Parker again. This time slithers his way through a hole and scores. Boy, made it look easy there. Nice block by Chad Chanson. The left side of that offensive line. Marco Aguirre, the left tackle. Stephon DeVries, number 63, getting the job done.
Watch the offensive line come off. They're doing wedge blocking inside. Nice block by the fullback. Eats up the linebacker. I think that's Chad Chance, number 31. Kevin Parker just pops it out to the outside.
Good job also by the other tight end, Justin Peele, getting back into playing time after an injury during fall camp.
Well, no one can stop the Duck offense right now. Bad calls, penalties.
Well, this offense has got it rolling in high gear. We've played less than 3 minutes of the second quarter, and the Ducks already have 28 points. Akili can convert with 4 wide receivers. Here comes the blitz. Slant pattern. Griff. How did he catch it? He may score. He's fighting for the end zone. Yes, sir! Wow, what a play! Well, he's not only a good receiver, Ken, but he can work in the circus as a juggler.
Todd, I want to compliment you on your call of that play. That was wonderful. Watch this. The ball is juggled. The freshman thinks he's got it. Now Griffin's got it. Now watch this great effort. This starts on the 18-yard line. He's dragging them in. I told you these guys are hungry. This is my chance to score. I got to make the most of it. What a great, great effort.
Sensational play, maybe the play of the year for Oregon. And they've had a lot of big plays as it is. Damon Griffin with his second touchdown of the day. The Ducks red hot rolling, and they're steamrolling the Cardinal right now.
The bite of rest, ready to go for the Cougs.
Good protection again. Smith, rocket ball to Hartley. He's got it at the 45-43. First down, Oregon. As Tony Hartley comes up with another big catch in front of Chris Johnson, the corner.
Watch the offensive line. Great job. You see,
by Chris Johnson.
Michael Clues, Zeke Moan, DeVries, Marco Aguirre. That is just great. There's a lot of one-on-one blocking out there too, Todd. There were a couple double teams the left side, but the right side of that offensive line pretty much had everyone man-to-man, and Josh Beckett, number 53, is in there at right tackle right now.
Here comes the crowd. Let's look at Eric Edwards, the senior from Pasco, Washington. Oregon showing blitz. They back out, backside pressure. The ball is loose. Free ball, and it's recovered by Stanford. One of the offensive linemen pounced on that football. There's good pressure by Saul Patu. And making the recovery is Zach Quacchia, the center.
Patu is one of the better athletes up front, and this defensive front has been unheralded. Going into last week's game, Todd, they were leading the Pac-10 in sacks. This is their first one today. Gives them 9 on the year.
Once more, Akili Smith. If this cushion remains as sizable, we probably will see Jason Moss later in the game for some mop-up duty. But Smith owns the job now. He'll roll it out. Lots of time. Throws incomplete. Flag down on the play. Hartley could not hang on to the ball.
Now we might have a roughing the quarterback. Yeah, that's what we got. A roughing the quarterback play against Donnie Spragan.
Yeah, he was there awfully late.
Let's go, Oregon! Let's go, Ducks! Let's go, you!
So they'll march it further down for the Ducks.
Roughing the passer. Fouls by the defense. 15 yards. Automatic first down.
And Bay Area fans, if you're enjoying Akili Smith, picture him in a California uniform. He had verbally committed to go to Cal before signing his letter of intent with the Ducks. And that really is Cal's biggest problem. No disrespect to Vetter, but he has not been that great as a starter. After the penalty, first down for the 31. Play fake, timing route, down the sideline, incomplete. Taylor with the coverage. Griffin laid out for the ball, but it goes for naught.
Brian Taylor playing much better here in this second half. He's actually covering very well, right on the receivers most of the second half. You're going to see Damon Griffin's going to go down the sideline. Brian Taylor doesn't go for the fake, stays right on the inside. And if we can just get him to look for the ball a little earlier, he might be able to make some plays as far as touching the ball, knocking balls down.
Taylor, the high school All-American out of Addison, Illinois, clocked at a 4.440 in high school. He's yet to run an official time for the Cardinal. Second down, delay handoff. And it's to the fullback, Chad Chance.
He fumbled the ball.
But was he down?
No, he wasn't down. He fumbled it.
Smith with the hit. And Stanford has the football. Stanford comes up with another big defensive play after the Donnie Sprague INT.
Well, this run actually starts out pretty well. He has a nice big hold. And the ball comes out. Tim Smith with a real nice tackle up high and knocks it out. You're going to see Tim Smith come in here and just lay him out. His helmet in hand right to the ball, knocks it out. And Willie Howard's going to come up with it. That's Oregon's first fumble of the year.
How about that for ball possession? So the defense making plays. Can the offense convert? Wire gets some yardage and then gets hit pretty hard at the 21. Just two there. Vanderveer leading the way for the Ducks. Well, Chance, the fullback, does not get a lot of touches, so we can probably understand why he couldn't hang on, and Smith with a devastating hit.
Well, he was sure running pretty well with it for a guy not to touch it very much. He was running pretty well. Just has to remember to wrap it up at the end of his run.
Well, that's what they wanted to do this year. Fly around the ball, have fun. Husak on a roll again. Husak's going to have to keep it. He's nailed from behind. Chris Vanderveer making the most of his opportunity to play in the absence of Peter Sermon.
And the left end, Terry Miller, number 38, did a great job of stringing that play out and allowing a seam for Vandermeer. You're going to see Terry Miller on the right side. Watch him. He opens up a seam for the linebacker to come inside and nail the quarterback. Boy, nice job by the Oregon defensive. Let's see how many, everyone's on their feet. Nobody got knocked down. Defensive front is playing very good right now, Todd.
Crowd getting loud. 3rd and 12 for the Cardinal. Play fake. Husak waits, throws, incomplete. Wanted Pitts, threw it behind him. Bowman with the coverage, and Husak was running away from some pressure. Nearly ran into a lineman behind the line of scrimmage. Patu had the pursuit. And Bowman says, raise the roof.
Well, both defenses decided to show up here in the second half, Brian, that's for sure. Oregon playing very well on defense, and Stanford holding Oregon to no points so far in this third quarter.
Miller's average has taken a beating because he has angled some punts this afternoon, but his last two, frankly, have not been good.
What?
That one rolls out of bounds at the 44. Not a good one, just 27 yards. We're coming back. Pleasant afternoon in Eugene. And you see the yardage output slowing down in the second half. Play fake on first down. Smith airs it out. Incomplete. Griffin running the post. Johnson had him stride for stride.
Griffin was running a post on that play. It looked like Akili Smith expected him to go further upfield. Chris Johnson's going to be down here on the coverage on the outside of your screen right there. He's going to try to keep Griffin from going over the middle and catching this ball. But you see Akili Smith throw the ball over to the right side when Smith had him beat on the inside.
Oregon entered this game having outscored the opposition 139-43, their best offensive start since 1916, and they have clicked this afternoon. Second down. Smith stumbles to the turf, gets the ball off to Drones, and he'll get a nice little roll there inside the 40 to the 39-yard line, knocked down by Tim Smith. And just extrapolate for a moment, when the Ducks get Ho Ching back, think about what they can do on the ground, and they have been very good in the air. Smith is going to be a popular guy after this game. A lot of his teammates going to want to shake his hand.
Yeah, no kidding. Damon Griffin, 118. Jed Weaver, the tight end, 80 yards and a touchdown. He spread the ball around.
Despite what the numbers say, this is a balanced offensive attack for the Ducks.
Oregon has yet to run a screen pass today. There's a ball rifled to the tight end, Danny Polito, and that is his first reception as a Duck, and we have a late flag as well. Danny Polito, 6'3" freshman out of Costa Mesa. Bothered by a hand injury, had to wear a cast for the first couple of weeks.
You know, Polito looked like such a young pup to me. It's amazing after that first catch in major, in a Pac-10 game. He looks a lot older now.
And we have a late hit against Stanford, so they'll move it half the distance to the goal line. There's a good look at Danny.
After the play, dead ball against the defense, personal foul for a clip, enforced half the distance.
Hope you're a lip reader, but that's why they give you the signals. The net result moves the ball inside the 10. On the personal foul, first and goal from the 8, half the distance on the infraction. Drones, the lone setback. Give it to him, up the middle. And he'll get the 5, met by Sharkestein. And Shark has got help behind him. Stanford defense looking to flex its muscle inside the 10. And they've been pretty good this year, bearing down in goal line situations.
Well, if they want to get back in this ball game, Brian, they're going to have to stop Oregon from scoring here.
Defense has been making plays, creating 2 turnovers in the second half alone. Second and goal from the 5 to the end zone, but not there. Tight end Weaver wrestled down by Smith, and Stockbauer was there for support.
It looked like Tim Smith was expecting to pick that ball off before Weaver cut right ahead of him and caught the ball. Weaver's had a real nice afternoon today. He's going to come up with another reception here from Akili Smith. You see him come out to the corner right there, and Tim Smith's right there to make the tackle on the 1-yard line.
Yeah, well, he's got that great kind of down and dirty look, the black stuff under his eyes.
He's got mutton chops, too. He's got the long sideburns.
Yeah, he looks like a tough guy.
Drones to the goal line and over. Touchdown, Oregon. Ruben Drones soaring through the air as the Ducks are on the board for the first time in the third period. Wow, he was shot through there like a missile, Ken.
Great tailbacks know how to do that. They go up and there's nobody there. Watch this. He times it just right. Old 90 got hit in the hip there by, it looked like 84.
Justin Peel, that's his second good block down at the goal line. He and Aguirre just collapsed that side of the line.
He hit the linebacker's hip so he couldn't jump up and get Drones. That's a nice play.
Well, Mike Bellotti has said for the last couple of weeks, I want more touchdowns, not field goals. I want touchdowns. Well, he's got 7 of them today.
3:21 left in the third. Ducks lead it 49-21.
Well, it's been an awful slow third quarter, Brian, compared to the first part of the ballgame, with both defenses coming back and playing pretty well. But Kevin Miller got him in trouble that time because he's had 2 real short punts that have given Oregon really good field position.
The end zone. This one, returnable. Wire from the 2. To the 20, and that's it. First down for the Cardinal there. Well, no surprise that Oregon sold out this game because over the last 10 years, only Washington has drawn better than the Ducks, and they really have embraced this program here in Eugene. Husak has to fight that crowd for a little bit more this afternoon, and his completion rate not as high as he would like. First down from the 21. Lacey to the 29. Joyner with the tackle. Nice scat move by Lacey there.
Juan Carlos Lacey, he is the quicker of the two running backs right now as far as him and Corey Wire is concerned. None of them really have real breakaway speed like the guys they had last year, Bookman and Mitchell, but they get the job done.
Tough to replace them. Both of them finished in the top 5 all time in terms of Stanford rushers. Here's a 2nd and 1. We've talked about it. Good passing down. And Stanford will choose that option off the play fake. To the sideline goes Husak, incomplete. Davis, the intended man. Bowman with the coverage. We've been covering baseball this afternoon, making tomorrow's game on Fox Sports Bay Area at noon against the Rockies even more potentially interesting. The 3rd down conversion is good for the Cardinal. Wire getting the yardage.
You see, now this is how Stanford expected to run the ball going into this game. Like we talked about earlier, they have their offensive line averages over 300 yards a man, and they're expected to do this. But Oregon's done a good job stopping the run. This time, however, Corey Wire does a good job picking his way through for that nice run there.
Got to the 38. Coming up on 2 minutes left in the 3rd quarter. Husak, straight back. Down the sideline, Pitts across the 40 to the wave started here at Autzen Stadium. Second and 9. Davis and Pitts go wide. Husak, play fake. Looking for his fullback, Stevenson, but he can't hang on. Had some room out there on the flat. And Maxwell momentarily doubled over. Maybe knocked the wind out as he banged that big frame to the turf.
Yeah, it looked like Maxwell might have fallen on the ball. It's kind of hard to throw those fullbacks, those kind of passes where they have to raise their arms, so they got those big giant shoulder pads on, and they can't get their arms up very high. So you got to throw the ball to those kind of guys right in their stomach area so they can catch it.
Stanford marching down the field, facing an important 3rd and 9 from the 33. Husak, quick drop over the middle, nearly intercepted. Bowman had a good chance for a pick. Davis, the intended receiver.
Bowman was man-to-man on Dave Davis, and Dave Davis is going to run a slant route, and Bowman beats him to the slant and almost picks this ball off.
4th and 9 from the 33, down 49-21. The Cardinal will go for it. Crowd on its feet here in Eugene. Play fake. Husak can take it if he wants to. Instead throws incomplete. Out of the hands of Allen. Husak had a lot of real estate along the sideline, but opted to throw the football.
Yeah, Husak's really not that fast. But it looked like somebody grabbed, and see all the room here on the left side of the field. It looks like he might have had a chance to run for it, but then you're going to see somebody grab Jeff Allen's head and throw him down. That's a good play by the defense, but Jeff Allen should have had that ball as well.
So the Cardinal hands it over on downs with 57 seconds remaining in the 3rd. First down from the 33.
Impact on those players. They get gunned up.
So Oregon takes over. Chris Young in at fullback. Reuben Drones. Big hole left side. There he goes. Drones is on the move. He may go the distance. 10-5. Reuben Drones touchdown. 67 yards. It looked like the same play that he ran for 75 yards earlier.
Watch the block by Diekman, 65. He cuts down the linebacker, and you get him in the middle. You see Hartley, number 2, had his guy. There's Griffin downfield blocking. Now it's speed. This is raw speed. And what a great way to come back after stopping somebody on 4th down.
I give half of that touchdown to the defense. And Chris Young had a tremendous block, the fullback. And the extra point is good, and the Ducks have surpassed their seasonal average and approaching their season high. 56-21 as Reuben Drones goes 67 yards. He now has 128 yards on the day. This Oregon offense is averaging, well, they average 46 points coming in. It's going to be more, 46 points a game.
Is this fun broadcasting or what? I mean, it's fabulous.
It's the best 4 games of our careers.
Yeah, but the quality of the skill and the execution, I mean, it's just beautiful to see a play. You saw Zeke Moan, the center guy, got his block, the fullback got his block, the wide receivers blocking downfield, and right after a big...
You see Drones there. He's only got really one man to beat here, and that's Smith. And Smith dives at him and can't get him. And then Drones showing that real good feet and quick speed simply outruns the rest of the Stanford defense to the end zone.
And Darren, a critical swing there. Stanford comes up empty on the 4th down play. 1 play later, Drones is in the end zone. In the span of 11 seconds, things go dire for the Cardinal.
Well, Oregon is a real explosive offense. They have so many weapons. They got a real good tight end. Damon Griffin's had a real good game. Drones is starting to show some life. They just have so many people that can hurt you that they're really hard to defend. And then when you have a team like Stanford come in here that was struggling on defense a little bit, they're really taking advantage of them.
Observers around the Pac-10 have better pay attention to the Ducks. They're going to compete for the Rose Bowl this year. Wire takes a knee. And Oregon, one of 5 Pac-10 teams in the top 25 this week. Drones had 2 touchdowns week 1 against Michigan State, 2 more this afternoon. Last year at Merced College, 12 TDs in just 8 games because he was a little bit banged up.
Borchard's in a quarterback right now, Bryant.
Okay, in the roles we described. Although Borchard in because this one is largely out of hand. Lacey to the 24-yard line. Joe Borchard in relief of Todd Husak. And he gives the ball to Juan Carlos Lacey, who gets 5 yards to the 28. Joyner making the tackle. Stats battle being dominated by the Ducks. 176 on the ground, 357 in the air. And Stanford was gearing up to try to slow the Ducks down in terms of rushing, but they've been victimized in the passing game. A 3rd and 7. Beg your pardon, 3rd and 2. Scoreboard showed a different yard. Should have looked at the field, and Borchard put his head down, and he's very close to it. Joe Borchard maybe has the best arm among the 3 quarterbacks.
He's got the best arm, he's the quickest, he's the fastest, he's the best athlete.
And Borchard did get the 1st down to the 31. Protection breaks down, he takes it and gets hit pretty hard at the 32. Was looking downfield, no one was available, so he scooted up the middle, and Mazai Hamish dropped him.
Now, I don't care how good an athlete he is. He's not going to be able to take too many more hits like that if he keeps running up the middle like that. He's got to realize he's got to either throw the ball away or find something to do with it. He can't step up the middle like that and take those kind of hits and stay in the game as a quarterback.
You touched on his baseball experience. Batted .330 in 55 games for the Cardinal as a right fielder and DH. That caused him to miss spring football, and that is a detriment for his football career.
We might see Smith or maybe Amani. Well, we'll have to keep an eye on you that you don't sneak down there and maybe step on Villegas' toes. Borchard knocked down from behind, a sack by Brandon McLemore. Remember, Brandon had the big sack in the UTEP game on the final drive.
That's a 2nd sack today by a defensive back, and that caught Borchard by surprise. You're going to see him, his back is turned now to the pressure, and oh, there's a rude surprise. The safety hit me right in the right in the side. Well, you know, that play action fake didn't do much. Fake out the corner is the safety tie. But you know, the one thing I am proud about is that my extra point record was listed under modern.
This time, McLemore is going to come flashing into your screen on the backside and get Joe Borchard. You see the safety blitz coming in. No one picks him up. Borchard really has no chance.
A little different when you don't have a bat in your hand. You don't do that in baseball.
Now, if you did have a bat in your hand, you could slow down that safety blitz.
That might help. Stanford calls timeout. We'll work on that. That could be a rules change. A 3rd and 13 from the 28. Just 2 wideouts for the Cardinal. Borchard with time, lofts it, looking for Davis. Incomplete. Davis got pounded, and that's a good call on the flag. McLemore laid him out when Davis had no chance to catch that football.
Yeah, that is a real good call. You don't want to see those kind of things happening in college football. I know they started finding guys in the pros for doing things like that. You're going to see Dave Davis was running a corner route, realizes the ball is over his head and stops looking. You see the guy was not playing the ball at all. You have to play the ball, and Brandon McLemore was not playing the ball, hit Dave Davis with a real good shot up around the head area.
Crowd doesn't like it, but that is the right call, clearly.
Well, Brian, the thing you have to do is you have to play the ball. He's not playing the ball. His sole intent was to hit Dave Davis in the face, and that's exactly what he did.
You're right. In the NFL, Gene Washington would be finding him on Monday.
Exactly.
Davis has caught 5 passes this afternoon for 56 yards. Coming off back-to-back 100-yard afternoon. Jeff Allen. Okay. So more history this afternoon for Mark McGuire. Number 68. Can he get to 70? Unthinkable.
What does he have? One more game left?
One more, yeah.
Well, you never know. Guys seem to be pitching to him now. There's a streak there for a little while in the season where it looked like all the guys were walking them, but now that most of the teams are out of the race, they have nothing to lose.
Not breaking, 61, shattering it. First down. Ball again up there, potentially to be picked, but Davis hauls it in. Joyner finally making the tackle. That was a wobbly pass hanging in the air. Anybody could have grabbed it, but it went for 25 yards for the Cardinal.
Well, you have to believe that Joe Borchard lost that ball. The ball had to slip out of his hands. But it looks like maybe somebody's going to come in and hit him. Well, it looks like the ball might have slipped out of his hands and somebody hit him at the same time. Luckily for Dave Davis, the 2 Oregon coverers kept running down the field.
As we discussed, Davis continuing a nice afternoon. 1st and 10 from the 21. Borchard straight back. Gonna take it himself. Stays on his feet and rolls ahead to the 6-yard line. 30 touchdowns in the air. He is mobile. He ran for 7 his senior season in prep football. Wire banging ahead to the 2. McLemore wrestled him down. And there's that tenacity of Wire we discussed.
Coy is not going to make a lot of people miss, but what he is going to do, he's going to force you to tackle him. He's not going to go down on his own. You have got to knock him down. You've got to have lots of people around the ball carrier to drag him down.
From the 2. Wire leaps and into the end zone. Touchdown, Coy Wire.
There's a great block by Maxwell Stevenson on that play. He simply lifts up a linebacker, looks like, and then Coy Wire comes right behind him for the score. He should be coming right at us here, folks. Coy Wire goes up over the top.
Coming years, there's discussions about adding about 15,000 seats.
Well, they've got several people I see standing up along the railings, and I think maybe they prefer to sit down.
We have more than capacity. Not what the fire marshal wants this afternoon in Eugene. And by the year 2000, the Ducks hope to replace this turf with real grass. It is an intimate setting, the crowd right on top of the field. Cooper with an alley to the 35-yard line. 20 yards on the return. With 10:26 remaining, the Ducks with another possession.
Things up, and so far no one's been able to do it.
The Ducks have their first teamers in. They go back to Drones. He breaks another one to the right side. Look at that great block by Donald Haynes, springing Drones for another 15 yards. You know, this is the first team Oregon offense in here, Ken, and you wonder if Coach Bellotti is going to take his guys out one by one and let them get a round of applause, because with 56 points in the fourth quarter, no need to play a whole lot longer.
Well, you mentioned the block of Donald Haynes. It's a good job by Chris Williams there.
Chris Young,
and now Bobby Nero, number 15. Good blocking all the way. I'll tell you, you don't have to hold your blocks very long for Drones to get by.
But that's exactly what Oregon does. They go up top, they throw deep, they throw your tight end, and then when they think they got you backpedaling, they start running the football.
Drones with 155 on the ground. Monster afternoon. Parker doesn't do that well on that occasion. Met head on by Sam Benner, the Cardinals sophomore end from Ventura.
Kind of surprised to see Drones still in this ball game. You know, he came off an injury. Actually, it's his first game in the last couple of weeks. He had that 200-yard game against Michigan State and has actually been out for a while. With a 28-point lead and about 9 minutes to go, you wonder why they're going to risk him.
And I do think at some point we will see Jason Moss at quarterback for the Ducks. But these players getting a chance to pad their stats. Play fake. Smith. Over the middle. It goes incomplete, looking for Bobby Nero. Smith was tumbled at the tail end of the play. No flag. And that's the roar you hear from the Oregon faithful.
Well, they finally get some pressure on Smith and force him to really throw a bad pass. And then you're going to see Sam Brenner rough up Smith a little bit, throw him to the ground, but there's no flag.
No doubt some frustration for the Stanford defense. Last time they gave up this many points came against Oregon. The Ducks went for 55 back in November of '94.
That was the Rose Bowl year, right?
Danny O'Neill and company. 3rd and 14, delay handoff. And Drones will get the 36-yard line. Tim Smith making the stop.
8-6, tackle by Tim Smith.
So Oregon will punt it away. A sensational play right along the goal line. And then Barker put it down. But it's coming back. Coming out to the 20. And I don't know if that's a good call.
McLemore did a good job of keeping his feet out of the end zone and knocking the ball back. He really did.
McLemore's
you know what? Actually,
watching, beg your pardon, on the Jumbotron, and you see the fans' reaction.
Yeah. He is allowed to catch that ball, though.
Tom Osborne, special teams coach for the Ducks. Likes the effort, if not the end result. So Stanford moves it out to the 20. And once again, it's Borchard at the controls. Won the throw. Then he weaved his way up the middle for just barely a yard and a half. Macy Hamish knocking him down.
Joe Borchard's going to have to start looking at his second and third options in these pass routes, because it seems like if the first guy isn't open, he pulls the ball down and runs. He's going to have to develop that as his Stanford career goes forward.
Clock rolls, 7:40 and counting. 56-28 Ducks. A 2nd and 8. Allen in motion. Play fake. Borchard wants to throw. Has that time. Swings it out to the fullback Stevenson. And Joyner knocks him out of bounds at the 25. A pickup of 3. Dumps it off across the middle. It goes incomplete. Hits the intended receiver. Van de Veer batted the ball on its way, and it fell to the turf. And once more, Kevin Miller will punt it away.
And once again on 3rd and 5, Vanderveer gets up and knocks this ball down. He had a wide open, looked like that was Pitts coming across the middle, intended for Pitts, but Vanderveer knocks the ball down.
Punt number 6 for Kevin Miller this afternoon. Fletcher waits for it. This one wobbly. Fletcher from the 36. Gets hit pretty hard as he gets out to the 47-yard line. We live for controversy here on Fox Sports Bay, the television version of the Jungle. Blotty's team will have a bye next week. Stanford will play at South Bend, Indiana, taking on Notre Dame. Drones with the carry, minimal pickup. Willie Howard making the stop. And Willie Howard, one of the defensive leaders for the Cardinal, has an interesting incentive program for his teammates. If you make a big play, he'll give you some push-ups. But if you give up a big INT, he demands a corner say, give him 15.
And you know what? He's too big to argue with, too, Brian, so it really doesn't make any difference.
6'4",
if he
296.
Says, do push-ups, you're going to do push-ups.
That was Moss looking on. We think he'll get in before this one is done. Yeah, I think that you should listen to Willie. That's a good idea. Drones outside, cross the 50. Staggers ahead to the 41-yard line. He took thought with him. 11 yards.
But right now, that Oregon offensive line is dominating the line of scrimmage. Drones had to have over 200 yards here in this second half. They got Stanford back on their heels now. Oregon knows that Stanford's back on their heels. They're going to just kind of drive the ball right down their throats. And Drones comes out again, does a real good job running the football before he's dragged down.
Darren, almost a similar style to Terrell Davis from the Broncos.
Exactly. He has that same similar kind of like slasher type style, but just like Terrell Davis, he's got those big offensive linemen in front of him doing most of the work.
I've not called his name much today, but he's been playing in there with Aguirre. Nice block there.
Here's Drones breaking tackles. There he goes again. 40 yards for Drones, and he's got a career high in rushing. Over 200 yards. He's now at 214.
Todd, there were a couple of great blocks by the left side of the offensive line who pulled. We had just mentioned Jim Adams, number 71. You watch him right there. He cuts down his guy Aguirre right behind him. And there goes that little explosive speed right now. Block that kick.
We've got a record-setting moment here. Nathan Villegas and Ken. It was a great run. You had a nice run, but it's now a part of Oregon lore.
Now it's the ancient record.
Well, the decks are just rolling on all cylinders today. Akili Smith, Reuben Drones, the offensive line, you name it, they've all had good games. 63-28 with 5:40 to play.
Villegas with the PAT has made this a historic afternoon. 63 points, the most ever given up by a Stanford defense, passing the mark set by Arizona State when they scored 62 on the Cardinal back in 1981. Not a record you want.
No, you don't want that record.
And the crowd living it up in Eugene. It's going to be a fun Saturday night in Oregon. If you are tuning in expecting Rice and Texas, we will take you there immediately at the conclusion of our game. So hang with us right here on Fox Sports Bay Area. And anytime you make a bold point on television, you should hedge. Being handed a late note by Stanford Sports Information Director Gary Migdal, who says, don't go too hard on 63. In fact, the most points ever given up by a Stanford defense game in 1954, UCLA beat the Cardinals 72-0. Thank you very much, Gary. Good to see you.
Wow.
Randy Fasani in for the Cardinal. We like
They
to
are
tease
putting
Gary.
on an offensive show here, Brian.
Yeah,
You know what? You are right. The rest of the teams in the Pac-10, you better look out for this Oregon offense.
Yeah, they are
They
quick.
can score points.
And they can be devastating. So now Fasani has a turn at QB and gives it to Lacey with room. Cross midfield down to the 42-yard line. Nice pickup by Juan Carlos Lacey. Joining with the stop, 23 yards.
Well, this is actually a good time to run the ball. I know the folks at home are thinking, well, why run the ball now? Well, because Oregon's playing the pass, so they're dropping people out and probably pick up more yards right now running the football.
Lacey emulating Drones, who has gone 22 carries for 214 yards and 3 touchdowns. So we've seen nearly 1,000 yards in total offense combined between the Cardinal and the Ducks. Fasani feels some heat, dumps it off, and Pitts is going down quickly. McLemore stuck him. Bang, bang play. And Randy Fasani will get some action. Considered the best high school QB in the nation in 1996. Went to Del Oro High School in Granite Bay up in the Sacramento area. 2,400 yards, 30 touchdowns. Super athlete, big and strong at 6'4", 235. That's Andrew Curry.
He actually saw some time at tight end this year, too.
Yeah, he did. And Curry not looking good there, banged up along the Cardinal sideline. Fasani complete to Pitts to the 27-yard line. Joyner dragged him down. 13-yard gain. .347 left in Eugene. And next up, Stanford has to go to the most storied setting in college football. Although Stanford historically has had success in South Bend. The upset in 1990. And then Bill Walsh's team went in there and dismantled the Irish 33-16 in 1992. But this will be a demoralizing loss, tough to recover from. Fasani rolls it out, throws towards the end zone, incomplete. Allowed in 1954 to the UCLA Bruins, but still a bitter pill to swallow for the Cardinal.
Let's see, Oregon's been averaging about a touchdown every 3 minutes, so this one ain't over yet.
Stanford has played very tough football, and really I think that's negated some of the talent advantage Oregon has had.
Fasani, ball tipped, intercepted by Steve Smith. Steve Smith. And he returns it to the 25, his first career interception. The young freshman out of Rancho Palos Verdes, California. He's got great athleticism.
He sure did. It looked like they were setting a wall return on the sideline. He was trying to get over there and get behind that wall. The ball was tipped. You're going to see, I think, Chevron right there tips the ball. And there the young fellow trying to get over to the sidelines.
And Steve Smith, whose uncle is Dennis Johnson, former NBA great.
Here is Moss, the senior from Yuma, Arizona. He's seen action in small parts in 2 games this year. 4 of 8, no touchdowns. And the Ducks will keep it on the ground, giving it to Jason Cooper, who had 70 yards all in the 4th quarter last week against San Jose State. Moss, the more traditional drop-back passer, last year split time with Akili Smith, and Smith has been so good. Moss is now the backup.
Well, it's kind of hard to complain about being the backup when the offense is going the way it's going right now. He really doesn't have a leg to stand on if he's trying to sneak into the coach's office and complain a little bit. But you know what? He has to give Smith some credit because he's really moving this offense very well.
Moss had 5 touchdowns against the Cardinal in '97, so he can get it to the end zone as well. Clock rolls, 2:15 and counting. Cooper to the 38, met by Smith. Cooper from Skyline High School in Oakland was a sprint champion, part of the state's 4x100 relay championship team. Was a defensive back early on last year and then converted back to offense. Well, talking about the Pac-10 this year, Parity's probably the right word, but the top of the conference is looking awfully good.
I'll tell you what, that UCLA team's going to be hard to deal with. I think Arizona's a real good team this year, and I think Arizona State's going to come back and start playing well.
After their slow start. Oregon was picked number 6 in the preseason Pac-10 poll, as Todd Brooks from the Bay Area as well, out of Union City and Moreau High School on the carry.
Washington State hasn't lost a game yet, I think.
No, and they play Cal in a game that's just getting underway at Memorial Stadium. And if you're looking for Rice, Texas here on Fox Sports Bay Area, we'll take you there in 1:25 of action. So keep it where it is. Second and 1. They will get the first down.
Todd Brooks across
midfield. Another carry.
First down.
1:05 left.
Well, it doesn't look like Moss is going to put the ball in the air. I know Tyrone Willingham appreciates that.
This series has been tremendous, and this one was entertaining, but from a Cardinal perspective, the Ducks just too tough to handle.
Too many weapons on offense, not enough speed on the Stanford defense to keep up with those guys.
A lot of playing time in some of these mop-up situations. Hey, look at these guys.
There goes Todd Brooks, a little speed to the outside, and falls forward at the 36-yard line.
You know, Lee Gundy was pulling there, number 76, but again, Polito, the tight end, took his guy and buried him.
Well, the clock may run out before the Ducks can score again. And you look at Kevin Parker, he's got to love it. The last time the Ducks beat Stanford.
I know that guy, and he's not wearing his Halloween mask early, folks.
Not a lot of wins there.
Tough sledding coming up with this young team. They got to find a way to put it together. They want to start playing a little better on defense, especially.
Brooks to the 26. A Ron Dane type runner at 244. Fought with the stop. And that will take us to the conclusion of a great afternoon for the Oregon Ducks offensively. Rolling to the 63-28 win.
Well, Oregon certainly did a good job of moving the football today. It seems like they exposed every Stanford weakness on defense, throwing the ball early in the game and then pounding it out in the second half with drones doing most of the dirty work.
Come back with a couple final thoughts. It's a final in Eugene. The Ducks pound the Cardinal 63-28 on Fox Sports Bay Area.